right, let's see here. Hair is good, makeup's good. Guess the only thing left to do is for us to talk about some bourbon. I was asked a question recently, and that question was, what is your favorite go-to bourbon? And I think for everybody, our favorite bourbon may not be our go-to bourbon because, your go-to bourbon generally is your everyday drinking bourbon. That is a bourbon that is normally within a price point that you can actually afford. And so people ask me all the time, they're like, hey Chris, man, if there's one bourbon on your shelf that you're gonna always go to, which one is it? Of course I would love to say, I want to go to Blanton's, or I want to go to E.H. Taylor, or Weller, 12, or I want to get some Eagle Rare or some Buffalo Trace. But the truth of the matter is, those allocated bourbons are a little bit hard to find. Now, if there was an endless supply of them, I would be like, you know what? This is the one that I would always grab off of my shelf. But the truth of the matter is, those are not the ones I'm always grabbing off of my shelf. And if you're honest, you're telling the truth, just like I'm trying to tell the truth to you right here, right now, today, you're going to realize that there's bourbons that are absolutely amazing to drink. Love Buffalo Trace. I love Eagle Rare. I love me some, E.H. Taylor and some Wellers. But the truth of it is, when they're allocated, they're hard to find. And most of these look beautiful on our shelves when we have people come over and we're showing it off, and we can point people to all the different bottles that we have. It's like, oh, you have this bottle, that bottle. But the truth of the matter is, there are bourbons that are on our shelves that we go to every single day. And for me, there are three. There's three bourbons that are my go-to bourbons. The ones that typically most nights I'm going to grab one of these bourbons when I'm pouring up a glass, sitting down, wanting something at the end of my day, and it's going to be one of these. And so what I want to do is I'm going to show you the three bourbons that you'll always find at my house. They're always on my shelf. They're going to always be there. And it's normally not one bottle. It's a couple bottles of them that's going to be there. And so here is the three bourbons that I will always have on my shelf. And listen, to be a go-to everyday bourbon ain't just because it's cheap. It's got to actually taste good. I mean, I have tasted some bourbon that I'm telling you, when I put it in my mouth, I did not like it. It was like ethanol on fire in there. There was no great flavors. And so for me, it's got to be something that's pleasant to drink, something that fits my palate, and everybody's palate is different. I understand that. So the three bourbons that I'm going to show you may not be the ones that exactly are your go-to bourbons, but I would like to know what yours is, so you can comment down below and let me know what is your top three everyday drinking bourbons. So for me, number one on that list is going to be Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. Now here's something fun about Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. For years I never would try this bourbon, and the reason I wouldn't try it is because I thought it was just kind of like a Jack Daniels knockoff, and I thought, you know what, I like Jack, I like to take Jack and mix it with some ginger ale and drink it up that way. That's my favorite way to drink Jack Daniels. But I've never really seen Evan Williams as a sipper until one day when in my local liquor store, got to talking to some guys about it. I thought, you know what, I'm always on the hunt for one more bottle, so why not take a bottle of this home and give it a whirl myself instead of just prejudging it because of the way it's packaged. Got it home, poured it up in the cup. First time I put it in my mouth, that 100 proof was just absolutely amazing. I took that 1.75 liter and we pretty much over a little bit of time down because we found out I really like some Evan Williams, and it's a great bourbon, great flavor. The thing of it is, I've actually run it at some different bourbon tasting events that I've done, and I will tell you, these bourbons have come out really well. Now the second one on my list is a little bit it's a little bit pricier than some. In my area though, I can find it for $31, and that is actually a good thing. And so I know most places it's about $38, $39 if you're going to find it on the shelf. But the bourbon I'm talking about here is Yellowstone. Now, I liked Yellowstone before there was a character called John Dutton. I can tell you that right now. And so I didn't start drinking this just because of what was going on with the Yellowstone show coming out and all that fun stuff. But this is an amazing bourbon. It sets in at 93 proof, and it has some absolutely great flavor to it. It's easy to drink. It does not burn in your mouth when you're drinking it. Great sipper. If you want to throw it over a cube just a little bit, it kind of even brings out more flavors that's in it. And I will tell you, you will always find this on my shelf. Like I said, locally I can pick this up for about $31. And every time I go in and I see it on the shelf, I am going to buy that because chances are it's going to be in my glass at some point throughout the week. Now, this last bourbon, my number 3 pick, is also my favorite of the ones that are here. This is probably my everyday go-to bourbon. From the time that I started drinking bourbon, when I first tasted this, it fit my flavor profile to perfection. It was, I mean, from the very first sip, it was just absolutely something that I thought was just jam on good. And that bourbon is Elijah Craig. It is absolutely amazing. Coming in at 94 proof, still within a price point that you can drink this every single day. And I'll be honest, I generally don't buy the 750. I normally always have, back in my, my cabinet, I have the 1.75s. You can pick that up for about $58 in my area. And I'd go through quite a bit of that, as this is my bourbon that I go to. I have a lot of people that come over, and when we're sitting down talking about bourbons and I'm introducing people to bourbon for the very first time, this is generally a bourbon that I will pour them up because it is very easy to drink. You can drink that neat. It's absolutely amazing. You can throw a cube in there, gets more of the flavors just coming out of it. And I'll tell you, it is absolutely good. So that is my 3 all-time go-to bourbons. I would like to know what your all-time go-to bourbons are. The ones that are on your shelf, the ones that you're going to pick up through the week more often than not. And why don't you comment down below? And if I've never tried it, I'm always looking for one more bottle, and I'll go out and I'll buy it, and I'll give it a whirl, and I'll let you know what my thoughts is about it. Well, until next time, let's go hunt one more bottle, guys.